This is a public service announcement brought to you in part by J3.
Tell him I'm a realist.
J3 is a realist and can say what he wants on his channel.
Tell him to get ghosts.
If you don't like it, you can take this L and get ghosts.
Tell him to kiss my ass.
Little did you know, upon pushing the dislike button, you have just kissed his ass.
Tell him there's no room for weakness.
There is no room for whackness on J3 Entertainment, so if you fit the description, step off. Anything else?
Yeah, don't get teabagged. What's up, team? I'm back in the building with another movie review, Batman Ninja. Now, I got a chance to watch Batman Ninja a couple weeks earlier at WonderCon. And when I went in, I was a little optimistic about it because when I saw the trailer, I was like, all right, we have an anime version of Batman. And me just recently getting into anime, watching Cowboy Bebop and My Hero Academia, I'm like, all right, I like those stories. Maybe they can do Batman some justice in an anime version. So let's get into this review, guys. Let me warn you guys, this is a spoiler review because I must spoil some things so you guys can see where I'm coming from. So let's get into this thing. Story. I thought the story was very weak. Personally, I thought they could have did much better with the anime version Batman story. And the story was very simple, but very weak. It starts off with we find Batman fighting at Arkham Asylum against Gorilla Grodd. Wrong already for that one. But anyway, Gorilla Grodd, fighting Gorilla Grodd. Gorilla Grodd has some type of device circling around Arkham. It basically puts a bubble around Arkham, teleports Arkham all the way to ancient Japan, where we find the villains ruling Japan with giant robots, and the Batman comes to save the day in his Batmobile. That's the movie. That is the story. Let's get on this writing sheet. This sheet was written terribly. The story, bad. The writing, bad. I was expecting to see just an anime version of Batman in Gotham. Show a different look of Gotham. Give me that anime swag, that Cowboy Bebop, you know, you got the slums, people coming with cigars and shit, just doing their thing, but a different style. Give me that anime swag on it. But instead, you completely just ruined everything about Batman. You took everything, elements about Batman in this story, and you just, it's like you took this paper and was like, you just took it all, you just threw it away. And you gave me a whole new Batman, which I don't appreciate. This is a travesty. When we see Batman go all the way to ancient Japan, and you write that Two-Face, Poison Ivy, and the Penguin have giant robots ruling Japan. And Bane is a sumo wrestler. And you have the Joker, who outsmarts Gorilla Grodd. I don't know how that happened, but he outsmarted Gorilla Grodd, took over Gorilla Grodd's kingdom. And he has the most biggest robot you've ever seen. And I asked myself while I sit there, what the fuck is going on? Why is this happening? It was all over the place. It's not, I get the anime style, but you don't take the elements of the characters and just dilute them. Why is technology being ran in ancient Japan? How is this technology being run? I don't get it. I don't get it. So let's get back on it. Batman comes in to save the day. Batman has to kind of retrain himself to find out who he is again. And when he finds out who he is, Robin pulls out a pipe, plays a song, the monkeys play a song, these monkeys come all together, they make a giant monkey. I'm not lying. These motherfuckers made a giant monkey. That ain't the only thing that's stupid. So while it's a giant monkey, they're going against a giant robot in ancient Japan. And they need more power. So Batman comes to one with himself, and a bunch of bats come collaborate with the giant monkey and make a monkey man Batman giant figure and he fights against the giant robot that the Joker's controlling. I'm not lying. That shit happened. And I'm thinking to myself, where's the elements of Batman? Why is this going down? What the fuck is this? This is a travesty. And I'm explaining why I feel that way. Another problem with the story. You have Batman, who's a trained martial artist, one of the best fighters in the DC universe. I give you that. But I don't remember the Joker running around with samurai swords knowing how to fight neither like that. Joker's a 1-2 hitter. He hits you crowbar, bow, bow, and he slide with that shit. He ain't running with samurai swords and shit. Harley Quinn running doing karate and shit. What the freak is going on with this shit? I have a problem with this, man. I have a big problem with a lot of this shit, man. That story was complete trash, and they ruined what we know of Batman in this movie. The reason I have a big problem with this is because if it's your first interpretation of Batman, this is what you get. And when you go to the other interpretations of him, you're like, who is this dude? It should never be that way. Batman is Batman. He's been Batman for over freaking 79 years. It's been Batman for over 79 years. Why do you change it? Why do you change it? Why do you change things like this? For what reason? What do you get out of this? Does it make you hard? What the fuck? Why do you just change something so dear to people to make a mockery of it? And it was a joke. It was like a parody. It was like, what is going on with this? Terrible story writing. Terrible story. Terrible character development. Couldn't believe my eyes when I was watching. Voicing and acting. Trash. Now, hear me out. I believe that the Japanese version voicing will sound much better than the American version of the movie. And I believe that. I haven't heard the Japanese version, but I believe, because when you watch the American version, it felt like they didn't give 2 cents. It felt like an old 1970s martial art movie where they have the Americans talk over the Japanese actors. And it felt like that. It didn't feel like they were combined with the story. It didn't feel like they were combined with the artwork. They didn't feel like they were combined with the characters. And that really put a bad taste in my mouth, because I feel like voice acting is just as good as when you're on stage acting. I have to believe it. I have to believe that you're that character. And I have to say, a lot of DC animation films have been lacking in that department. I'm not feeling these actors coming in to do these jobs. It makes me feel that they do these jobs just for a check and no passion in the acting. And you get that on the voice acting level, and it really was dreadful. I was like, this sounds horrible, man. The Joker, the way he laughed, it was terrible. It wasn't a Joker. Mixed in with the artwork, it was like, what is this? This is garbage. The music, not memorable. I ain't even gonna talk about it. Directing, I thought for an anime movie, they did their job on a directing level. It had a lot of action. It had a lot of good sceneries, slow down plots, artwork. It all mixed in with the directing. The director did his job on that. Visually, though, I think visually, this is the strongest point in this movie. Visually, this movie hit every beat. This was a beautiful freaking movie, and unfortunately, it's in a bad film. It looked beautiful. I was ready for this. I was like, okay, I'm sitting back. This is gonna be a great film because of the artwork alone was very captivating. I'm sitting there looking at the artwork. I'm like, okay, this looks dope. This looks like they put money behind this animation, and they did, but nobody else. They didn't care about the story. They didn't care about the acting. They didn't care about the music. They didn't even care about that. They just cared about the artwork. And the artwork is so beautiful that it has blinded people in their decision making on this film. Like, if you go and look at peer reviews, everyone's like, oh, it looks so beautiful, it's so beautiful, so beautiful. But no one talks about the rest of the movie. The movie's bad, but it looks good. It's basically that. It is basically a BMW with a Geo Metro engine. That's what this is. It's a nice BMW form, but as soon as you open that hood, little tiny moped engine inside that motherfreaker. Trash. You dig what I'm saying? Entertainment is really tricky on this type of movie. The entertainment version of this film was, yes, the movie was very entertaining. However, it wasn't a good entertainment for some fans. I look at this movie like, okay, I could be really entertained and really capture so much of this film, but they crammed so much of this bullshit that didn't matter. It threw me out of the movie. I mean, when you came in where Batman had to do his little training real quick to get back to basics, and you see the Joker doing samurai moves and then having gadgets, and you're looking at it like, okay, you just threw me off now. it would have been better if it was more natural. If they had went to actual Japan and the Joker had ran amok on ancient Japan, became the head of Japan, and on some just gangster shit, not using gadgets, not using art, just going in doing some gangster shit, doing his thing, I would have been like, okay, this is my type of movie. But instead they threw in superhuman samurai, cyber squad robots and shit, technology up the yang. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? How does this happen? How do you do this? If you're in ancient Japan, where are you getting these wirings? What's going on? And it just looked bad. It looked cool, but it looked bad because this is Batman we're talking about. This is not a made up character. It's not a made up movie. If it was made up, I wouldn't even give a fuck. In fact, I'll be like, this movie's bad, but it wouldn't matter because you're making it up. But when you take characters that have been around longer than the creators of these movies and you just twist them around, it really puts a bad taste in the viewer's mouth, and true fans, it puts a bad taste in my mouth. So entertainment was there, but it wasn't good entertainment. It was crammed in bullshit. When you see monkeys collaborate with each other like they're nanites or something, and they collaborate with more bats like they're nanites or something to create a Batman figure that's been the ancient prophecy is spoken of, the bat will rise, and he's like a freaking 80 foot Batman fighting a giant robot. You're like, nigga, what's going on? And the crazy thing is, being in an auditorium watching this movie, you hear people just fanning out for no reason. You're like, what's going on, bruh? Are they just that blinded by the artwork, or are they just blinded by not just DC in general? And it just really put a bad taste in my mouth. Before I give my grade on this movie, I want to give 2 cents on this too. While I was there, I was very distasteful with it. And at those viewings, they do have this thing where they allow you to have a Q&A where you can go up and ask a question. Now, I don't remember exactly what I was going to say, but I'm going to try to go run down for the question I was going to ask. I was going to ask something in the field like, how do you feel that you've taken a character and you completely twisted everything about that character to make this movie? Now, it was something in that field. And they told me, you can't ask that question. And I said, how come? That's a legit question. They said you can't ask that question because it might make the creators feel threatened. I said, how? They did it. They just showed this movie. I want to know, how do they feel about twisting Batman to make a new type of character? How did they feel about that? And he was like, you can't ask that question. Can you make it a little easier? And I was like, okay, let me think of something else. So I tried like 6 times. None of my questions, you guys know my rule. I never disrespect because I don't want to be disrespected, but I will ask a question. And if you feel disrespected by a simple question of your work and you can't take criticism, then personally, you ain't shit. Now, I can't say that about them because I never got a chance to ask my question. So they was like, if you ask the question, we're going to pull the mic, and that's just what it is. So I'm like, fuck. All right, whatever. So I go sit back down. This is the type of bullshit that I have to deal with. Being out here in Hollywood, y'all, I go to these screenings, bruh. They don't let me say my piece. They won't let me say my piece. I mean, damn, you just want to hear good thoughts about everything, and that's why we're not getting good movies. I really love my team. Team J3, you guys are the best. And you guys show what's real. And people need to be more realistic about reality. When something's bad, it's not mean to question it or say, I don't like it, and give a legitimate reason why you don't like it. There's nothing wrong about that. Telling somebody something about them or hatred, that's wrong. And that's nothing I would ever do. But it really sucks that I went to multiple screenings, including this world premiere of Batman Ninja, and didn't even get a chance to ask the creator a question. Let alone watching the Q&A of them talk up there, knowing that they really didn't care, that voice actors really didn't care much about this movie at all. They just needed a check. And I take art very seriously. And if you're going to be in that world, you need to take it also very seriously, especially when you adapt characters like these ones that have been around longer than the guys that's voicing and creating these new stories. But that's my 2 cents on that. Let's rate this bad boy. The story, D. Wasn't feeling the story. Casting, F. Wasn't feeling the casting. Entertainment value, C minus. C minus. Music, don't remember, so I won't rate it. Directing, I think directing was pretty cool. C. Visuals, A. This is something new I want to say. Also, rewatchable value of this movie. In my eyes, what I like to watch, this has no rewatchable value at all. I give it an F. But some like anime, some like outrageous, they might give it a higher grade than that. Now, what I give this movie personally, I give this movie an F. Failure. Bad movie. I will never watch this movie again. Puts a bad taste in my mouth. And I hate what they did to Batman as a character. Even though Batman is fatigued, I'm tired of seeing Batman myself. But to know that you just don't give 2 cents about that character, that really hurts my soul. And for DC to allow this to go down, and Warner Brothers, shame on you. This is another X that Warner Brothers has on their record. Their credit is really bad with me, because it's like everything they bring out is going to be a travesty. It's like they'll bring out one good movie, one good animated movie, like for instance Batman Gotham by Gaslight, which was a decent film. I really like that movie. And then you come with 2 bad ones. You see what I'm saying? You got Suicide Squad, that was weak, and then you have this Batman Ninja, another weak movie. So it's like, I don't know what's going on with the offices and stuff, but they really effing up and they dropping the ball. Now let's round this movie out. So roughly this movie gets a C-. That's the grade. It's a C- film overall. Personally, I get that motherfucking F, but I gotta be fair.
Please.
Well, that's the review, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, where I keep that shit 100 at all times. I want to give a big shout out to Team J3 and the Patreon family. Love you guys from the bottom of my heart. If you guys like this movie or you dislike this movie, put in the comments down below. Let your boy know what's good about this film and what's bad about this film. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thumbs this video up and don't forget to push that subscribe button for the real and the real deal, and that's for real. J3 out.